Iya, Mat.
And today we'll be solving a mock test for writing task 2. This is the first week where we are discussing the writing section. In the next week also we'll be discussing the writing section also. And we'll be revising the task 1 and the task 2 in more advanced version. This week was just an introductory version. And just share my screen. आप लोगों का कोई भी previous lecture से related कोई भी question you can just ask even in the chat, or you can turn on your mic and share or ask. Okay, so let's move towards the mock test. In the previous lecture, let me just give you a quick recap. So in the previous lecture, we discussed what could be the structure of a like a stronger band essay, and what structure should follow. So the thing is that like when you will be writing your essay, uh, जो high achievers essay होते हैं, even in other exams also, the mindset of high achievers is like this, that they should write the essay in such a way that it should be like it should be different from others, and it should be like best from others. Like you can pass this idea that if if examiner is reading your essay, so it should be like something different about your essay. It shouldn't be some generic essay. Like because examiner एक day में काफी ज्यादा essay examine कर रहा होगा, तो उसके उसको पता होगा कि क्या एवरेज essay है और क्या जो है वो एक stronger band essay है. So you have to build an impact in the examiner's mind. So ओके सो इस मैनिफेस्टेशन का अपने माइंड में रखेंगे, उससे आप वर्क करेंगे, तो मे बी इट कैन बी ट्रू दैट इफ दे रीड योर essay, it can build impact, or it can like remain make your impression remain in his mind, so it can lead to that. Okay, so I was saying in the previous session we learned about the structure, and like how the structure should be. There should be an introductory part, and then some sort of like paragraphs. Uh, it would be related to the problem statements if we are like in support of that, or like in opposing of that certain idea, and at the end we have to make a conclusion paragraph. Overall words should be 250 words. Okay, so ये हमारे पास हमारा ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर है फॉर द ऐसे. और कल हमने और भी पॉइंट्स थोड़े डिस्कस किए थे. तो अब मैं मेरा कहने का ये मकसद है कि ये स्ट्रक्चर तो अब सबको ही पता होगा, राइट. बट हमने क्या करना है कि हमने स्ट्रक्चर में भी अपने ऐसे को ऑप्टिमाइज लेके चलना है, और लाइक उस स्ट्रक्चर में भी हम हायर बैंड कैसे अचीव कर सकते हैं, ये भी हमारा मेन टास्क है. ओके, सो कल जो हमने स्ट्रेटेजी डिस्कस की थी, ये तो स्ट्रक्चर है ना. और कल हमने जो स्ट्रेटेजी डिस्कस की थी वो ये थी कि फर्स्ट 5 मिनट्स हम लोग प्लान करेंगे कि ऐसे की हेडिंग्स क्या होनी चाहिए, इस पैराग्राफ में मैं क्या बात करूंगा, और क्या कंक्लूजन होगा, किस तरह से मैं कंटेंट को लेके चलूंगा, क्या वोकेबलरी रिलेटेड वर्ड्स भी आपको सोच सकते हैं द प्लानिंग सेक्शन के. क्या वर्ड्स आई like which words I can use, and then after 5 minutes of strong planning, you can start your essay. Like in our previous lecture, we allocated 30 minutes to our essay writing, and then after writing, the last 5 minutes you will be just checking any errors or any spelling errors or grammar. Yes, ma'am, Umerubab. So it is I think third week, week 3, last day of week 3. So you can also start from here even. आप हम लोग यहाँ राइटिंग सेक्शन कर रहे हैं. आर्ट्स के हमारे पास 4 सेक्शन होते हैं, तो अभी हम राइटिंग सेक्शन कर रहे हैं. ओके, सो ओके सॉरी, आई वाज एड्रेसिंग मेरे बाप। तो आई वाज सेइंग कि हमारे पास एक शीट भी है जो आप देख सकती हैं, उसमें लेक्चर्स भी हैं। ऑल्सो आई विल सेंड यू अ शीट इन द स्लैक चैनल। सो आप वहां से भी चेकआउट कर सकती हैं। लेट मी जस्ट सेंड यू इट्स ओके। जो हमारा सेशन था इसमें हमने एम ये किया था कि हम सिर्फ 2 मॉड्यूल्स को लेके चल रहे। ओके, सो आई विल शेयर यू ऑल्सो sending you the link in the chat. Okay, I sent. A correct link or I just sent something else. Yeah, check this one. This is the latest one. Okay, so let's move towards our practice test. आपका और कोई क्वेश्चन है तो just ask. Okay. So basically यही है कि आप like कोई भी सेशन ज्वाइन कर सकती हैं और आप कहीं से भी स्टार्ट कर सकती हैं। It's not that you have to start from certain section. तो अभी हम राइटिंग सेक्शन कर रहे हैं। नेक्स्ट वीक भी हम लोग दोबारा से टास्क 1 एंड टास्क 2। यस यस मैम, मेरी बात। सो इट विल गेट अपडेटेड। ओके, सो लेट्स मूव टुवर्ड्स आवर टुडे मूव टेस्ट। ओके, सो आई होप लाइक आप लोग भी साथ साथ इसमें एडिशन करेंगे तो इट वुड बी हेल्पफुल फॉर ऑल। ओके, एंड ऑल्सो टेल मी कि आप लोग तैयारी कर रहे हैं फॉर द राइटिंग टेस्ट फ्रॉम योर ओन। आपने कोई अभी तक मॉक टेस्ट दिए खुद से? एंड आपके क्या बैंड आ रहे हैं? सर अहमद, सर जीशान।
नो मैम, अभी मॉक टेस्ट तो कोई नहीं दिया, बस अभी प्रिपरेशन चल रही है।
ओके ओके, so let's start. I hope you will contribute in this also. Let's start from the heading. This is like a problem statement or any sort of statement which you can follow. Okay, so here is this thing that in many countries, primaries and secondary schools closed for 2 months or more in summer holidays. What is the value of long school holidays and what are the arguments in the favor of shorter school holidays? Okay, so this is the problem statement. Let me just reload it so that हमारे पास actual time आ जाए. Okay. So for the first 5 minutes, you can even go for the structured planning, that how we should plan our problem statement and how, sorry, like how we should understand our problem statement and structure our essay. So first of all हम introduction करेंगे ना, तो introductory part होगा. We used to say that first of all there would be the intro, then para 1 and then para 2. Okay, and at the end we have to go for the conclusion. Okay. Okay, so here this thing, like in the first we can discuss that in although in many countries there is a variable duration of summer holidays. Okay, and then we have to discuss how they impact how, the long period of summer holidays, how they impact on students, and the shorter school holidays, how they impact on students. And we have to go for in favor, like इन फेवर मतलब हमने पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट डिस्कस करना है कि इन दोनों बातों का क्या पॉजिटिव होगा. ओके, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम इंट्रोडक्शन से लेके चलेंगे and we can also focus that because हमारे पास आप यहाँ से भी देख सकते हो that because like structure is like that we can make two paragraphs. Okay, if we make three paragraphs here, so हम third में क्या बात करेंगे? What do you think? हमें यहाँ two paragraphs रखने चाहिए या three? Any suggestions? I am in support of two paragraphs. Why? Because first of all, this would be the introductory statement, and this one paragraph will be making about the long school holidays, and one paragraph will be making about the shorter school holidays. This would be the second paragraph, and then we discuss the conclusion. Okay. So, what do you think? Should we have a paragraph three? Okay. Okay. So, anybody can have a argument in that. आप सब एग्री करते हैं we should have two paragraphs? Okay,
यस
so
मैम, 2 होंगे.
okay, so like you can just think this thing that if there would be two paragraphs, then each line would be like almost to six sentences. Okay, for each paragraph will contain 5 to 6 sentences, and relatively you can divide if you have a three you have three paragraphs, you can less the um, lines from the first or second paragraphs. For example, you can make 4 lines for each paragraph if you are having three paragraphs. Okay, and if you are having two paragraphs, you have to make 5 to 6 lines for each. And our introductory part will have 4 to 5 lines, and our conclusion will have 2 to 3 lines. Okay, so we can divide like that. तो हमने कल स्ट्रक्चर भी डिस्कस किया था, उसमें भी इस तरह से ही था कि like it would be 2 to 3 lines. I'm going for the next one. And then here we can have 5 to 6. Okay, and this also will be the same 5 to 6. Okay, okay, and this would be like we can say 4 to 5. Okay, so this would be our structure. Okay, and I hope this will complete our words requirement. Let's plan this thing that what we should write in intro and all that. So we can discuss in introduction. Remember that this thing like your introduction should be strong enough to grab the attention, but avoid the hooks as we discussed in the previous session. Okay. So first of all, in the introduction, हम यही discuss करेंगे कि countries जो हैं वो क्या कर like countries related होगा and all that. In the first paragraph, and then we have to discuss about the main point. We don't need to discuss in depth. We just give them a hint like what we're gonna discuss in the next paragraphs. And then in the paragraph one, we'll be discussing about our main point, that is like the long school period. Okay, in the first paragraph, and then we have to give it an example also. Okay, कि क्या एग्जाम्पल से भी हम शो करेंगे कि स्टूडेंट्स पे कैसा इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है. ओके, सो इसमें लॉन्ग पैराग्राफ आ जाएगा एंड सॉरी लॉन्ग टाइम पीरियड आ जाएगा, एंड देन हम लोग एक एग्जाम्पल डिस्कस कर लेंगे. और इधर इधर भी हमारे पास इस तरह से होगा, एंड ऑल्सो हमने यहाँ एक कंक्लूजन भी रखना है. आफ्टर like we have to make an like the result line. Okay, and here we'll be discussing about the shorter period, and in conclusion we'll just say what we think about that. Remember, this whole essay is not about your like intellectual test, like how what ideas you are having. It's just a language proficiency test where you have to um, tell that whatever idea you have in your mind, you can deliver it well. Okay, you have to show just this thing. तो हमने overall structure define कर लिया. When you are giving your actual test, you can, I just wrote it here, but you can just write on your notebook or something that you can just like save it. Okay, so ये हमारा overall structure हो गया. Now we can move forward. अब हमारे पास 5 minutes for example हमारे पास खत्म हो गया, तो ये हमने planning कर ली. Now we have to follow that planned structure and then we can move. So first of all, okay, so first of all we will be making our first line. Okay, so make this thing also that like अगर कोई हमारे पास ऐसे जो है आपका, आपने पहले उसको देखा हुआ है So या फिर like some sort of don't I mean to say don't put here some crammed sentences. You can use some sort of words which you crammed earlier, but don't put a full sentence that you crammed earlier. Okay, so अब हम लोग फर्स्ट लाइन करेंगे दैट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमने फर्स्ट लाइन में यही डिस्कस करना था कि जो बहुत सारे कंट्रीज में डिफरेंट डिफरेंट समर हॉलीडेज का पीरियड होता है और इट इज हाईली डिबेटेबल दैट व्हाट इट शुड बी, am I right? So different people have different opinion. Okay, तो यही हमने डिस्कस करना होता है. So we can say the length. Okay, the length in simple words only. Okay, of summer स्कूल ब्रेक. ओके, जो भी हम लोग यहाँ राइट करें, फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज द दीज आर द वर्ड्स वी शुड अवॉइड. लाइक लेंथ मैंने यूज कर लिया और ये मैंने यूज कर लिया स्कूल ब्रेक फॉर समर हॉलीडेज इन सिनोनिम ऑफ दैट. सो आपने अवॉइड करना है कि आप इसको दोबारा यूज ना करो. ओके, दैट कैन रिड्यूस योर बैंड. ओके, so we have to write here this thing that length of is I'm using here a word that is contentious. Okay, it means controversial or disputable. Okay, it means something that can generate an argument. Okay, so like we are saying the length of the summer school break is contentious. Okay, and there would be distinct opinions over there. Okay, there are distinct opinions. Okay, so now what do you think? What should be the next line? Mr. Taha Sir Ahmed.
मैम इसमें हमें लॉन्गर और शॉर्टर स्कूल हॉलीडेज का थोड़ा सा बताना होगा साथ.
Yes, exactly. We can say like we can even put here a full stop, and there here we can start a next sentence that there are the distinct opinions, or we can say a debatable opinions. Okay, but these are the synonyms. Okay, so you can also tell me that you can use here this thing. Yes, exactly. We have to discuss some. We have to discuss some favor of the arguments. Yeah. So we have to say there are debatable opinions. Okay. Okay, as both. Okay, अब लॉन्ग के लिए हम लोग एक यूज करेंगे सिनोनिम. सो लॉन्ग के लिए हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं एक्सटेंडेड ऑल्सो एंड एक्सटेंडेड. और शॉर्ट के लिए हम ब्रीफ भी यूज कर सकते हैं या फिर यू कैन यूज इवन सेम शॉर्टर. ओके, वर्ड्स आपने इस तरह से करने हैं कि हमने नेक्स्ट टू वर्ड यूज नहीं करने. ओके, तो इसलिए फिर आप एक जगह आप शॉर्टर यूज कर लें, देन समवेयर यू कैन यूज एक ब्रीफ और समथिंग. ओके, and both extended and shorter holidays. Okay, there are debatable opinions as both extended and shorter holidays. Okay, can influence or affect. Okay, and can influence students. अब students भी हमारे पास यहाँ हैं. Okay, students के लिए भी हमने different words synonyms यूज करने हैं. अब जो समर हॉलीडेज हैं वो सेकेंडरी और प्राइमरी स्कूल्स के कह रहे हैं। तो मे बी दे वुड बी टीनेजर्स, और टीनेजर्स के लिए हम लोग अडोलेसेंट्स भी यूज करते हैं वर्ड, वो भी हम लोग नेक्स्ट में यूज कर लेंगे पैराग्राफ। तो आपने ये बैंक तैयार कर लेना फॉर द वर्ड्स कि हम लोग इसको लाइक डिफरेंट वर्ड यूज करें। तो आप कहीं स्टूडेंट भी यूज कर सकते हैं, इवन देयर इज अ वर्ड लाइक पीपल्स, दिस इज ऑल्सो रिलेटेड टू स्टूडेंट्स, ओके, वी कैन यूज दिस इवन। ओके, अभी हम लोग यहाँ स्टूडेंट यूज कर लेते हैं और आगे हम लोग इसके सिनोनिम यूज कर लेंगे। Okay, can influence student in distinct ways. Okay, okay, अब मैं यहाँ full stop लगा रही हूँ, this is the end of this. Okay, now we have to say some sort of contrasting word. Okay, so I will write here varies. Okay, where you have to put some opinion or something, you can put this word. Okay, so we can say here that अब मैं यहाँ बात करूंगी लोंगर की पहले, फिर ठीक है, उसके बाद फिर मैं शॉर्टर के बारे में बात करूंगी इन डिटेल। यू कैन ऑल्सो वेरीज लोंगर, और हम अब एक्सटेंडेड हमने पहले यूज किया ना, अब हम लोंगर यूज कर सकते हैं। लोंगर वोकेशन, ओके, आई डिडंट यूज द वोकेशन, कैन इनकरेज। Okay, the basic idea I want to convey from this is this, like, um if the students are having a longer duration, okay, how they can use it or utilize it effectively. So like in my opinion it is like that if the students are having a longer vacations, they can build some sort of skills. Okay, and in that I will put some example of some developed nations that or the nations, like some sort of developed nations, there there is more trend of young teenagers or adolescents to uh, invest their time in summers in some coding stuff, some technical like acquisition of skills or something. So it okay, so there would be a very national advancements, you know, if they have a longer time span uh, in like summers, so they can utilize it effectively. And the negative aspect I will, sorry, the aspect I will discuss for the like shorter duration is this, that if they have a shorter duration, it would also be good, because like if we have so much long duration, there is some sort of social distancing or something in the students, and it can affect their minds also. And in that I want to quote some example of COVID-19, then where the schools were closed, and it lead to the students mind, like the mind health and disruption and all that. And then in the end I will say the conclusion that whether it's like a short duration or a long duration, it highly depends upon the student will. If he wanna make it productive, it would be, and if he wanna make it like total waste of time, then it will depend upon his will and his like his you can say devotion. So this is the main idea, okay, but idea will not affect your band, but how you define it, this will affect your band. So ये मेरा basic idea है, but हम लोग इसको इसी को लेके चलेंगे। ओके, सो अभी हम लोग यही डिस्कस करते हैं कि लॉन्गर वेकेशन कैन encourage students personal growth and their learning, and we can say independent learning, because they have no restriction of schools over there in the vacations. So longer vacations can encourage, okay, we can write here teenagers also, but let's, यहाँ क्योंकि वो उसका वैसे ही जा रहा है कि वो स्टूडेंट से हम कह रहे हैं। ओके, तो वेरीज longer vacation can encourage independent learning and personal growth. ओके, अब हम लोग यहाँ शॉर्टर के बारे में बात कर रहे थे। अब यहाँ हमारे पास एक कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग वर्ड था, इसके लिए हमने यहाँ एक सेमी कोलन यूज किया, ओके, फॉर मेक अ कॉन्ट्रास्ट, okay, so for making a comparison, okay, so now we have to say here, you have to go for shorter, okay, अब हमने पहले shorter यूज कर लिया, तो मैं यहाँ brief यूज करूंगी, brief, break may help to maintain. Okay, so it can maintain our academic consistency, I will say, and uh, the like mind health. और इसके लिए आप लोग मुझे कुछ सजेस्ट करो कि हम I want we want to convey a mind health. Okay, knowledge retention, individual growth. Yes, we can do this thing, knowledge retention and individual growth. Yeah, this is also good words. And can anyone give me some synonym for mind growth, or sorry, for the social growth, or like socializing? Help to maintain, we can say here. आप लोग ये भी याद रखें कि हम जो यहाँ जो या हम यहाँ जो लाइक जो भी वर्ड्स यूज करें वो हम आगे भी इसको यूज कर सकते हैं ना इन टर्म्स ऑफ सिनोनिम्स. So I will say here that it would be maintaining academic is spelling for consistency. in- Okay, academic consistency, and we can say something like a mind health, or it can also be maintained by that, or some sort of. Okay. So I will also discuss in this thing that जब अगर ये नहीं होगा, अगर short breaks नहीं होंगी तो एक social disruption आ सकती है. Okay. So it would be the structured social circle then, if my spelling are correct or not. Okay. Structured. Okay. Social structure. That's it. Okay. In the last line of your introductory paragraph, you have to discuss. Yes, ma'am Naila. नॉन एकेडमिक परस्यूट्स में तो फिर हम उसको भी कर सकते हैं ना कि हमारे पास लॉन्ग में भी नॉन एकेडमिक परस्यूट्स ही हो रहे हैं. हाउ यू कैन डिफाइन के शॉर्ट में भी हम. we should go for a like more better solution for that. We can say extra curricular, am I right, or something. बट एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर का हमारा पॉइंट है कि वो लॉन्ग में वर्क करेगा. लॉन्ग में एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर की हमारे पास ज्यादा टाइम होता है, एंड फॉर द शॉर्ट देर इज लाइक मोर एकेडमिक कंसिस्टेंसी. हम फौरन से एकेडमिक्स की तरफ वापस आ सकते हैं. सोशल स्ट्रक्चर भी मेंटेन रहता है. ओके. तो आपका वर्ड है, हम लोग उसको उसमें यूज करेंगे इन इन लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन. ओके, पैराग्राफ. नेक्स्ट है हमारे पास इन माय ओपिनियन, यू कैन राइट. Okay, we already wrote the opinion. Okay, in my view, I can write. In my view, okay, the effectiveness or impact, if I used their impact of either approach, okay, depends largely on, I would say that here, like how they use some sort of time. Okay, so impact on either approach depends largely on, I will say, teenagers, that how they spent it. Okay, or on teenagers, that how I should structure like this, how teenagers spent or something, or utilized what should what do you think that हमें यहाँ कौन सा tense use करना चाहिए? How teenager utilize their time? Okay. Any correction you want? Anything in the first introductory paragraph? Sir Taha, Sir Ahmed. You see any repetitive word or any grammatical mistake or any spelling mistake? Sir Zishan, what is your reaction?
मैम वैसे
जी
स्पेसिंग का है सेकंड लाइन में भी, जहाँ पे सेंटेंस खत्म हो रहा है फेस के बाद डॉट आता है वहाँ पे एक स्पेस आनी चाहिए थी। और थर्ड लाइन में भी जहाँ पे सेमी कोलन है वहाँ पे स्पेस हो सकती
third line and this second line.
है। यस।
Okay, after reading out this first introductory paragraph, what is your like thinking? Is it strong enough or not? Okay, let's move towards our next paragraph. Okay, so in the next paragraph, we earlier discussed that we have to go for the long length of our school holidays, like how they can impact them. So here we have to discuss about the opinion. Okay, like we can say on the one hand, ये भी हमने कल डिस्कस किया था कि हम ये राइट कर सकते हैं जब हम लोग अपना एक ओपिनियन दे रहे हैं, और नेक्स्ट में हम लोग उसका एक और वर्ड यूज करेंगे, have that word is that yeah. So on one hand we can say some I think we already used the extended. Can you tell me any synonyms we can use for extended? Even we can use here long. Okay, let me use here prolonged, some sort of long and prolonged absence. I think this word we can use in between. What do you think? Absence and prolonged absence from school. It will depict us towards long duration. सताहा, आप क्या सजेस्ट करें, कहाँ आप एकेडमिक ऐड करें? ये देखने के लिए
I was suggesting the academic instead of school.
Okay.
Absence from academic activities such as assignments, quizzes.
बट हमने एकेडमिक्स पहले भी यूज किया है, so is it good? Repeat. Okay. So okay, so let's move. A prologue absence from academic. We should add also activities also, you're saying, sir, or academics? Okay.
Academic activities.
Okay. So we can say here, prolonged absence from academic activities offers young people, okay, instead of teenagers, we are using this. So activities offers young people to explore, okay, or young people to offers young people freedom, okay, because we have to connect something with offers, okay, offers young people freedom, or we can say independence. We used here that independence, am I right? So that's why we can see here the freedom to explore, okay, and trending, like मैम अलमास आप किस बारे में कह रही हैं कि we can use seminary word for the synonym? Is it for academics? We should okay, so we can think about this. आप लोग भी suggest करें. मैम अलमास कह रही हैं कि we can replace it with seminary from academic activity instead of, because it is synonym of school. Freedom to explore trending skills. Okay. So next we can say here, this can lead to trending, exploring trending skills, or to explore trending skills or something. And then I want to say that it can help in acquisition of those skills, and also it can help, yeah, so it can help a develop of sense of entrepreneurships also, the young entrepreneur. So हम लोग यहाँ कह सकते हैं offer young people freedom to explore. Some sort of, I cannot find that word. If you can write like some sort of skills, or हम यहाँ co like curricular add कर सकते हैं, or non-academic pursuits, like non-academic pursuits, you know, if the spellings are correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so non-academic pursuits, to explore, freedom to explore non-academic pursuits, and then we can say um, तो अभी हम लोग एक और लाइन ऐड करेंगे फॉर लाइक इन सपोर्ट ऑफ दैट, देन हम एक एग्जांपल ऐड कर सकते हैं. सो adolescents, okay, I will use, let's see if I am writing the spelling correct. Can okay, can build, I will say, competence or competitive attitude. So can build competence with
By like gaining practical knowledge through the internships or doing the part-time work in small businesses.
yeah, exactly. I want to add that in example, when we say example. Here we can say that like internship वाली बात I wanna add in the example, जब हम
Okay.
अभी example देंगे, तो हम यहाँ कह सकते हैं can build competence by skills or trending, even you can use trending skills acquisition. Okay. पर्सनल ग्रोथ हमने पहले ही डिस्कस कर लिया हमारे, so we can use here also. I want to discuss young entrepreneur real ambitions, and I want to add here this thing that technical, but technical knowledge, trending skills acquisition. लाइक आपको ये 10 सही लग रहा है? एक्विजिशन हम जैसे यूज किया, कंपेटस बाय एक्विजिशन ऑफ ट्रेंडिंग स्किल्स कर सकते हैं. And I want to add here the last thing, this one, that like technical. Okay, so what do you think about this line?
Adolescents can better competence.
Adolescents can build competence by trending skills acquisition, technical knowledge, and young internet ambitions.
यहाँ पे हम बाय एक्विजिशन ऑफ ट्रेंडिंग स्किल्स, इस तरह की सिंटेक्स थोड़ा सा ठीक कर सकते हैं ना.
Okay. Now I can give an example. So here we will be saying that initials. For instance, you can use, for example, if you wanna say something, we can use instance for instance or something for giving an example. So for instance, now we have to use the teenagers or young people already used. So what we should use for
Primary and secondary pupils.
then we have to use primary and secondary school people and all. Youngsters or have we used somewhere students? Okay, we can use people. Okay, so
Yeah.
the synonym for students. For instance, people devote this period to internship, to internship or some sort of digital innovation, and this is not happening in the government. Digital innovation. Okay. सो यहाँ मेरा ये आइडिया था ये बात करने का कि क्योंकि जो लाइक बिग टेक था वो भी इसी तरह से डेवलप हुआ था कि स्टूडेंट्स थे रहते यूज टू इन अर्ली एज इन ऑल द स्टफ. So it can lead to if the like country will make a standardized holidays and make the students structure their holidays, then it can lead to a national development in terms of technical world. So that's why. So यहाँ हम लोग ये भी ऐड कर सकते हैं कि एक ओवरऑल कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकता है, तो ये एक कल्चरल इनिशिएटिव हो सकता है। Okay, that lead or that can contribute. Just go for community here. Community initiative or community initiative. For instance, people okay, for instance, people reward this period to internship, digital innovation, or community initiative that may contribute in national development. Is this correct? If you are seeing any sort of error. Okay, so ये हमारे पास हमने what do you think? Is it weak conclusion बता रहे हैं for the lines, or we should have one more line of conclusion? इस तरह बता.
What if we can write this last two lines, such as in several nations, and we can quote any country name. For instance, people devote this period to internship at small scale businesses, digital innovation, or humanitarian social welfare campaigns that may contribute in national development.
Okay, which country you want to mention?
Any country.
I think it would be more specific, and then we have to just prove it. That is it was true or not.
Yes.
It will more it will be going with America, but because the most of the innovation came from there, so I think it would be. I was also initially thinking of that, but we want that we should mention that America. Okay, after in several nations we have to mention America. You are saying here.
Yeah.
America in America, for instance.
Yeah.
Or USA, right? Then you have to put a comma also, everything. I think we sort of make it like this. Okay, any other one can suggest anything. It's wrong. You can correct me.
मैम हम यहाँ पे नेशंस का वर्ड यूज़ कर रहे हैं, साथ हम एक कंट्री का नेम
Hmm.
यूज़ कर रहे हैं, तो हम इस तरह कर
Yes.
सकते हैं इन सम कंट्रीज लाइक अमेरिका पीपल्स डिवोट दिस पीरियड टू इंटर्नशिप एंड
Some countries you are saying. So, okay, more.
यस, अगर हम कंट्री का नेम लिखें तो हम सम कंट्रीज यूज़ करेंगे.
Okay, यहाँ
Or we can or
okay.
either we can write like in several nations such as America, people devote this period to dash dash dash.
Okay, so let's move towards the next one.
Yeah.
So these have 600. Let's move towards next, and here we have to say conversely. Okay, it means like in reverse of this whole idea. Okay, this is the reversed idea. So the reversed idea is this, that we have to conversely, like if there would be the shorter duration of the situation. So if there is the shorter duration, we have to discuss this thing. Um, so brief we already used, and reduced duration. What do you think? reduced period. Or any better synonym you can suggest. Have you used shorter holidays?
Reduce period or reduce summer break.
Just break because summer will be repetitive. Reduced break. Okay, so here we want to discuss this thing that reduced breaks because we have to discuss a positive impact. So like it may lead to uh, like because then we will be discussing that if it will not be there, then what kind of disruption it can cause.
It will be like reduce break may help a student to stay focused on structured educational framework or educational structure studies.
Okay, so what you are saying instead of lead to?
Conversely, reduce break helps students to stay focused on educational structure, educational
We have
format.
used earlier the help, so we can use may uh, can we develop something. Oh, the word what words you are saying? I just missed it. Develop.
Yeah.
Next, what you were saying? Like the I wanna say here social impact. Like they would be more the like their mind will be. We can say they can nurture their mind in a sense more and like they can socialize with people, which can lead to a good mind health. Yes, we have therapists.
Okay.
So reduced breaks may develop. Earlier we used here this thing, academic consistency. So we have to use some synonym of this and what the social steps are also. So
Focus, like academic consistency will be like uh, focus, educational format or educational framework.
then we can use here a word which is poster. Okay, that can lead to some sort of reduced may intake, sorry, reduced breaks may post may have. We're saying strong educational framework.
Yeah.
And you can tell me any word that would be the synonym of strong. You can say structured educational framework. Already, I think we heard many times.
Yes.
I think okay, so time is also almost done. So here we just need to discuss that this thing like towards like educational framework and like also the social impact. Okay? And or you can say mental well-being or mind well-being or something. Mind health or mental health. Okay, and then we can discuss next thing that यहाँ एक और लाइन अभी हम ऐड करेंगे बट हम लोग यहाँ ये ऐड कर सकते हैं that in COVID-19 there was the extended or something um, like in COVID-19 there was, and here you can also use some sort of word that there was extended and there was the long tenure. This is the sentence that we can use. Vacation. Okay, we can use here some word of that image. Their image. Okay, long tenure of the vacation, which their focus also and productivity. अभी तक हमने productivity use की. Productivity. We can say as the soft skills or something. And at the end हम इन इसमें add कर सकते हैं. But in result, okay, that shorter summer, like there is a synonym which is the break is also research we can use. Like in result, reduced we already use in that. So let's use something like academic research. We have to use here some synonym. Okay, a shorter academic research. Can anyone suggest some synonym for shorter? Okay, we can communicate. Okay. So the shorter academic recess और brief तो हमने पहले यूज कर लिया. तो उसके उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ कि like it can help students to develop their uh, skills like their holistic skills which are comprehensive. So we can have like in result shorter academic recess to develop and comparative and holistic. Okay, and at the end we have to also write the last conclusion also. Conclusion के लिए हमने last को इसमें भी एक और line भी add है for after this, that it has to score that argument also, and then we have to write at the last that it would be having also this thing कि हमारे पास last में हमने आपने अपना idea conclusion convey करना है, that what is what like that you have discussed, and in the last we will discuss this thing, okay, in conclusion and say conclusion, okay? It will highly depend upon. You can say young adults or something. What are the more synonyms for youngsters? We can say youth. Yeah, youngsters or youth. That's the means youngsters. Okay, here we can also write one more line. Okay, at last. can say develop because we have not used develop culture of early achievement. Okay, so we need to add one more line paragraph also. What do you suggest?